All right, we're back working on our trailer again today. And yesterday I got a lot done. And we're going to start shooting this with a little bit of primer. I know it's not perfect. Like, we'll get some closer pictures of things later. And you're going to see that, yeah, we got some issues. But I figure this, with the pitting in the frame, and I'm still able to put like 3 passes of weld over it, we're probably going to be okay. So here's the top, and I patched up all my cut marks, and cleaned it up, blew it off, wiped it down. Might not be able to tell, but like seeing the front, we still got some work up there. But mainly what I want to do is just get the bottom of this frame primed and painted so I don't have to flip it over. I can be done with it. Here's a tongue. We've got it all put back together, or ready for paint, put back together. And on the other side here, so it should come out all right. Like, we're not going to seam or anything. I just don't want it to rust apart like it already has. Like, here, we'll show you, like, see, here's it's oh, there we go. It's quite pitted, but I mean, I was running like 3 passes when I was moving these spring hanger mounts, and I think it'll be just fine. On that note, that is why the floor came out. It's because when I had it upside down, it was so bad a rust. Oh, and then here, use the plasma cutter, cut all the rust out all the way up on both sides. Oops. Now we'll get that cleaned up and patched up, and then we'll be on to new things. So I'm going to give this etching prime a shot. I've never used it before. I don't know if it matters. And like I said, this trailer doesn't have to be perfect. I just got in here and I'm like, man, this thing's really bad, so let's just paint it. And when I flipped it up to weld in the spring hangers and then finish the tongue, I realized that it was way worse than I thought. So 2 more weeks worth of work when I get my chance to work on it, of cutting the sides out and getting the floor out. And then, you know, you go that far, you might as well prime it and paint it just to make it last, and hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. Now, I understand that priming and painting this thing now is probably a little bit premature, but the fact of the matter is I'm okay with grinding the paint off to weld more things on. I'm okay with scratches in this paint. The main objective is I'm out here building this in the dirt in the Northwest, and the amount of rust that's already on here that I've gotten taken care of, and the amount of bare metal that is now showing, I have to do something to protect it to make my job easier later. Alright, well, we got a couple coats of paint. It is far from perfect, and actually it is not the color brown that I wanted. I was looking for not this brown. However, it'll be fine. So we got it on end, got it all painted up, and we'll let it dry. Thing is that I found a lot of things that I should have done before painting it, but the deal is I've got most of it painted. I can put it together, it can stay together, and we'll just roll with it. The nice thing is, since I'm not a painter, there's a lot of flaws and wonkiness in this, and nobody's going to notice. I am a little bummed about the color though, but it'll work. So I let this paint dry for a while, and it actually dried and cured pretty well pretty quickly. It was pretty warm and not too humid. So now I want to get the axle and springs back installed. The reason why I changed it is it had a different leaf spring setup. So the back spring, instead of having a shackle, it just slid back and forth on a basically on a bolt. and there was a lot of wear on it. Plus, it rode so bad, and I needed to get a little better ride, hopefully, and I also needed to get a little bit of lift on this trailer so that it hopefully matches up with the ride height of the Jeep. This spring kit I bought off Amazon. I'm really skeptical how long it's going to last, how well it's going to work. It had like some kind of plastic for bushings instead of actual rubber bushings or polyurethane bushings. But I put some grease in them, and we're going to see how long they last. Some of this is still experimental, and I just want to get this trailer going and working, and then I can make improvements on it later. One of the unique things about this trailer that I found pretty cool is basically stock from 1955. It had kind of similar to a U-bolt eliminator kit on it, and I really wanted to continue to use that. When I changed the springs, the plate on the top wasn't sufficient, so I had to build a new plate, and I used 1/4 inch for that, which might be overkill, but it might not be. Hopefully this axle's heavy duty enough. I mean, we're not towing heavy weight, so it should be fine. And what I did is I just used some grade 8 bolts with washers, lock washers, and nylock nuts. It's another reason why I wanted to get it together and leave it together, because I didn't want to have to take those nylock nuts on and off, because they really don't work that great after the second time you run them up and down a bolt. And hopefully they stay there and don't do anything I don't want them to do, like fall out. Rejecting. Alright, let's back up. So I can get these bolts in on this side. And yes, I have to run real spacers to go from 5 on 5.5 to 5 on 5. And in order for me to do that safely, I'm gonna have to get longer studs. And I haven't bought the studs yet. And if I had, then we would be doing that today too. But I haven't, so we will just keep them temporarily on there until I do. I might actually pop them off and go see about getting some today, because I would really like to have the wheels, this thing sitting on wheels again, and not have to take it back apart. Because I've had this thing together so close to being able to be used several times, and then I'm like, oh, we need to do that. Oh, I should do this. Well, we can't really do that till after we do this. So, basically, what this needs to be able to roll down the road are wheel studs and the light trailer light wiring harness put in, and we can tow it around. Will I? No. But we will also need to put a floor in, and then it can actually be used. So we are getting closer and closer by the day, and pulling this floor out was not on the original agenda. Heating it was not on the original agenda. But when I got underneath it to weld these perches on, like I said, it was just too far gone, and like I had to cut the whole thing along this edge here. And my tent goes in these holes here that are roughed out. So with it all being rotten through there, the only support it had was on the corners in the front and back. And that just seemed like a recipe for disaster. So the only way to really fix the sides, somewhat correctly, where it should be strong enough, was to take out the floor. So I'm glad I gave myself enough budget, because to be honest with you, switching these springs out wasn't really on the budget. But the fact of the matter is that the springs that were on it would probably be okay for a while, but I was going to have to change them anyway when I got looking at them, because there's a lot of wear on them. So when I went on Amazon and seen that they had trailer spring kits, I thought, well, let's give it a go. These were like 62 bucks. I got what I paid for. We'll see how well they work. I mean, if the thing rode like a buckboard before, it rode like a buckboard before with the other springs. So hopefully with a shackle, it'll ride a little bit better. I have a feeling though that these will come out. Ideally, I wanted to run like YJ springs or something on it, so it had a squishy ride, because I'm not hauling a lot of weight. And in finding these are light duty trailer springs. They're like 16 or 1700 pounds. When you look up spring kits, most of them are 2500 and up. Well, this trailer isn't going to weigh even half that loaded, I don't think. So the 17, it's still, their springs are overrated for it. However, it's what we got, and we're going to give it a go. So I'm going to tighten up the other side and go get some more parts, and maybe we'll add some more stuff in today. So the main cost this week is wheel adapter, studs, leaf spring kit, and new hardware, and of course the paint. Yeah, I painted a wheel spacer, or technically wheel adapter, but I was just curious. So I'll put the tally in the description below. Thank you guys. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and hopefully we'll see you out on the trail soon.